Let's get this part straight right from the beginning. I'm going to talk through the lens of boys because I have 5 sons. The things that I'm going to share may apply to your girls as well, but we're just going to look at our little boys for a minute. Ready? All of our boys were the type of kids that wanted to try things. They wanted to be in danger without being in danger. They wanted to risk life and limb without actually losing life or limb. And it was so important for their development. Our kids, our boys especially, need adventure. They need to leave the Shire and go out into the world to defeat things, defeat the foe, defeat the enemy, defeat the fear. And sometimes that means that they're going to take some risks or play some games that are going to make us a little bit uncomfortable. Like that Mr. Beast video where he talked about paying an assassin that if he could stab him with a plastic knife, that he'd win $100,000. And why is this so compelling? Why is this so engaging for our sons? Because they need to conquer. They need to succeed. And as parents, especially as moms, we need to give our boys the opportunity to play dangerous enough. Not dangerous so that they're really taking crazy risks, but allowing them to try things and know that, yes, sometimes they're going to skin their knee. They might even break their arm. And we're not wishing harm or damage or injury or worse for our kids. But instead, we need to give them the opportunity to exercise these types of adventures so that they can learn their boundaries, they can learn more about themselves, and they can learn more about what it means to come to the defense of others. So we need to be careful to not let our own fears get in the way. I remembered when one of my sons learned how to ride his bicycle. It took a really long time. And when he finally clicked and he got it, he took off like a bat out of you-know-where. And I simply couldn't watch because he took so much speed and so many risks as he was learning to master this bicycle. And I had to step away because I was right there saying, be careful, slow down, you're going to get hurt, you're going to fall. And we want to be careful not to project these things onto our kids. There's a link in the descriptions where I shared an article from The Nature of Things where they talk about the importance of risky play. And one of the things is practicing the 17-second rule. And the idea is that when you see your kid doing something that makes your heart beat faster, give them 17 seconds. Can they figure it out? Can they solve the problem? Do they really need your help? Just give them time to develop the risk management skills that they'll need to be a successful adult that's not terrified of everything going on around them. And let them watch things like Mr. Beast and all these crazy things. And don't be surprised when they go grab a plastic knife and then they pretend to be assassins on a train and they're trying to free the captive or whatnot. Or let them watch things from somebody amazing like Mark Rober, who does these fantastic experiments and things. They're not always mom approved, but they're so important so that your kids can develop these risk management skills that they're going to need to conquer adulthood. I know this is a hard one. They may get hurt. There was a season in life where our children were one of their favorite things to do was to practice the lightsaber scenes from Star Wars. And they had lightsabers and sticks and staffs, and they would perform the complex moves just like Jedi. And they were smacking their fingers, and we suggested that they slow the motion down until they master the moves and then slowly speed them up, which they did. And it turned into this amazing ability for them to wield these lightsabers. Well, as they got older, they wanted things like practice swords so that they could practice sword fighting. And I am even sitting in a room where there are a stack of these plastic swords, cold steel, they're called, link in the descriptions. And the boys would go play in the backyard and they would knock each other's fingers. I had to learn to say things like, if you're going to practice sword fighting, you have to accept the risk that you might get your fingers hurt or your hands hurt. It's just part of it. And I had to give myself the time and the space to practice things like the 17-second rule so that I didn't freak out if they were practicing sword play or lightsaber duels and they knock each other on the hands. Oh yes, we definitely exercise things like safety and caring for your brother, caring for others, all those things, but we still allowed them to play with, practice swords, Nerf weapons, and all of those things. It's important that our kids are not so sheltered that if they fall and they skin their knee, they have a conniption fit that never ends. Or if they get wounded in some way, that they don't have the coping skills for how to deal with that. So we need to allow them to work this out. And one of the best ways to do this is in childhood play. So don't be surprised if your kids ask for a rope and some duct tape and a plastic knife if they've watched the Mr. Beast videos, and let them role play it out and see what happens. But rest assured that you are doing an excellent job as a parent if you let your kids develop risk management skills.